What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're finally going to put the 2J back into the E46 for what is probably the 11th time now. Can't say with certainty that this is going to be the last time that we do it, just because, as you can see, there's no lower pan still, and if I can't get the transmission on and the turbo manifold on with it in the car, well, then I'm just going to have to pull the motor back out to do that. But we got to get it in there because we got to get our fuel lines figured out. Aside from just upgrading some of the things inside the engine, I'm upgrading a lot of the accessories that went along with it, which is where I really cheaped out on the first time building this thing. Also, I've got some pretty big aspirations for this, and then kind of building out Corey's engine and then the LS and putting quality parts in there. I just can't let this thing get left behind, you know. This is where I started with. This is kind of my baby, my pride and joy, and I never get to drive it because it's always getting something fixed or replaced on it, and a lot of that's due to the fact that I just used cheap stuff to begin with. But you guys didn't come here to hear that story. You guys just want to see me get this engine into this car so I can finally rip on it. Now, one of the benefits to doing it without the transmission on is that I can, in theory, just hover this engine over the engine bay and drop it in, versus trying to level this thing out and angle it and all those other things and work its way in. It should be a pretty straightforward dropping it in. Hopefully it goes that way. So good. So line up where my mounts are. Just a little bit further. Put too fast. Let's get too far over this side. Alright, that is where everything should be sitting. One of the things I forgot to take into account when I was putting this in, I forgot to take into account that the car was elevated in the front where it's sitting on the jack stands. So it should be a pretty straightforward dropping it in. But I just didn't take that into account when I was trying to angle the engine. I had the engine pretty level at first and it just wasn't lining up. Then it finally dawned on me, hey stupid, the car's not level, so the engine shouldn't be level either. And once I had that little epiphany, everything dropped in pretty smooth. Like I said, we're not ready for the final end of this engine, although I'm more and more optimistic that I'll be able to put everything in while it's in the car, with the exception of a couple bolts on this side for the transmission. That's going to be the rough one, but we'll give it the old college try anyway. Alright guys, so I know lighting's an issue, so I'm going to apologize in advance for that. But now that the engine's in the car, and I didn't do this before putting it in, now we're going to go ahead and drop the, or add in the PMC adapter. Now I wasn't sure if I was going to remember which bolts were which, because I did a terrible job at organizing when I was disassembling. But luckily PMC makes it pretty straightforward, pretty simple. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are all the same bolts. These two are a different size bolt from the rest of them, and there's 2 on the back side back here. So we just got to get these tightened down, and then we can throw the flywheel and flex plate and the thick spacer adapter on there. I think I got it, buddy. I appreciate it though. You guys see, no shop, no lift, no nothing fancy, just home garage, Harbor Freight tools, and a bunch of these mosquitoes. I'm gonna go ahead and apologize in advance. I've got to get under the car, put this flywheel in, and well, it's under the car, so lighting's gonna suck a little bit. Well, lighting's gonna suck a lot, but you guys get the point. You see me? All right, guys. So let me turn this off.
And it actually.
All right, guys. Well, that takes care of that. I didn't torque the bolts down yet, just because I don't have the Loctite on there. I really just wanted to kind of get that up and positioned, and really just see the feasibility of being able to get the transmission in while the engine's still in the car. It's not going to work out that way, but we'll probably just lift the engine up a little bit, not pull it all the way out, just give it enough angle to put the transmission back on. But that's gonna have to be for another time. I'm gonna go pack because I got a flight to catch in a few hours. So once I get back from that, we'll hop back on the car.